Hi, folks. Today we will be talking about the 401k trap. How Wall Street wins and you lose. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to wake you up. Because something happened on August 7, 2025, that most Americans missed. And it's already changing your retirement, your future. And your ability to stop working when your body says enough. I'm Aston Collins. President Trump signed an executive order that allows employers to load your 401k with something called alternative assets. That sounds harmless. It's not. Let me explain what that means and who it hurts. Okay? Now, this is what you need to do. You need to take notes of what I'm saying because this is going to affect your future. This will affect your future, your money. Take notes. Pay attention. If you don't have a notepad, open your phone. Go into your notepad, into your notes section. Take notes. Okay? This will benefit you and your family. It will save you money. Trust me. Okay? So let's get to it. Who will get hurt? And how we know? This won't hit everyone at once. But if we don't act, here's who will get hurt starting now. It will be firefighters, like a gentleman I met in Phoenix, Dave, who's 5 years from retirement and doesn't know his target date fund now accrues private equity. He didn't choose it. He didn't even know. It would be teachers like Laura in Virginia, who was 62 and just wants stability. But her plan now includes crypto, an asset that can swing 50% in 1 month. It will be nurse like Lisa in Ohio, working double shifts and losing thousands in hidden fees she never agreed to. It will be police officers, sanitation workers, bus drivers, warehouse clerks, warehouse teams, grocery clerks, the plumber, electricians, construction workers, anyone who automatically enroll in a 401k and never ask for risky, high fee investments. They're the ones who will wake up in 5 years and find out their retirement did not grow the way it should have. Or worse, that it shrank while Wall Street collected fees no matter what. That executive order Trump passed would cause all of this damage to you and your family. Keep that in mind. Remember that. Take notes. Pay attention. That is not just speculation. It's pattern recognition. In other words, it's greed. It is greed at its worst. We have seen what happens when private equity takes over hospitals. When hedge fund collapse. When crypto crashes. When derivatives blew up the housing market. We've seen this movie before. We know the end. And now, those same assets are being quietly, in the dead of night, in the dead of day, slipped into your retirement plans. In the dead of night, slips into retirement plans of working Americans. My friends, it is wrong. It is un-American. President Trump did this to you with his executive order. Remember that. Now, what are alternative access? You've heard about this many times. Let's break it down. Let's get into it. How they hurt? Let's talk about that. Let me break it down for you. Private equity. Private equity firms are like corporate hitmen. You know, like the mafia have hitmen, right? They have hitmen in the mafia. Corporations have the same thing. They are like the hitmen. They don't build businesses. They buy them, lead them dry, and walk away with profits. They raise money from billionaires, big institutions, then buy up companies, sometimes healthy ones, sometimes not so healthy ones. They load those companies with debt, they cut their staff, they sell off the assets, and charge massive fees for managing the business. And when they are done squeezing every dollar out. They either flip it, the company, or they just let it collapse. Okay? Those are the guys, those are the people, those are the companies that your 401k money will be going to. Investment like that. God help us all. Now, what you know is what you don't know. What you think you know, you don't know, because this is complicated stuff. Okay? You know what that means? Your local hospitals has fewer nurses. Your grocery store has fewer cashiers. Your rent goes up. Your job gets outsourced. And your retirement account, if it's invested in these deals, gets dragged down with them. It's not a joke. This will happen. Take notes, pay attention, write it down. Listen, you will need this information. I guarantee you, you will. Pay attention. Okay? Now, let's look at some real life examples. Okay? Let's look at some real life examples. There was once a company named Stewart Healthcare. Was bought by C Capital, a private equity firm. They sold off the hospital buildings, laid off nurses, and left patients waiting in understaffed ER rooms across the country. Think about it. Then, there's a company that you know very well, Toys R Us. You probably bought toys for your kids from them at some point in your life, if you're old enough. Toys R Us was gutted, was bought by Bain Capital and KKR. They buried the company in debt. They paid themselves fees and left 33,000 Americans jobless. My friends, your 401k money, imagine, will be funding, investing in companies like this. God help us all. Think about it. Now, hedge funds. Let's talk about it. Because your money will be in these things. Hedge funds. Hedge funds are private investments. Okay? Hedge funds are private investment pools for the super rich. Very rich people, super rich, however you want to phrase it. Okay? They use risky strategies like short selling stocks, leverage, derivatives to chase big profits. They charge 2% of your money every year plus 20% of any gains. If they lose money, my friend, you still paid. It's good for them, it's bad for you. If they lose money, you still pay. That is fucked up. But that's what President Trump did to you and your family by signing that executive order on August 7, 2025. That's what he did to you and your family. Keep that in mind. Okay? Now, let's look at another real-life example here. Long-term capital hedge fund collapsed in 1998 after betting on Russian bonds. The Federal Reserve, had to bail them out to prevent a global meltdown. We, the American taxpayer, had to bail them out to protect the global market, financial market. Another hedge fund company collapsed in 2006. $6 billion. They bet on natural gas. That went wrong. The wrong way. Then the most famous one you heard of, Bernie Madoff's hedge fund, or so-called hedge fund. A Ponzi scheme that wiped out $65 billion in retirement savings. You heard of that? Now imagine your 401k money could be invested in all of these things. For what? For what? Ask yourself that question. Who in their right mind would do such a thing? Who in their right mind, a decent human being, would do such a thing? Ask yourself that question. Who? The guy is in the White House. His name is President Trump. He did that to you and your family. That's where your money will be going. Your 401k money that you work hard for all your life. Keep that in mind. Now, private credit. What is private credit? Private credit is lending to companies that bank won't touch. Meaning, bad companies, bad actors running bad companies. Banks won't touch them, won't give them credit, but private credit will give them credit because they believe the foolishness that they're doing, they will make more money. And if they give them bad money, they will turn that into good money. Right? So they give them money. They take the risk for 200% profit. That is private credit. They are often small companies, often in trouble. Imagine that in your 401k. When they take a hit, your 401k take a hit. When they go out of business, your money is gone, down the drain. You can't get it back. Because President Trump made sure in the executive order he took away all of your legal rights. He made it almost impossible for you to sue these companies when they fucked up your money. So in other words, President Trump protected Wall Street and he fucked you over. That's what he did. Okay, keep that in mind. Now, after the 2008 crisis, if you old enough to remember that, I am, banks pull back from risky lending. the pullback. Private credit stepped in. Today, they're still doing it. The loans that they make are very expensive. They are hard to value, often hidden. When they fail, you lose everything. That includes your pension funds and retirement accounts. And these are the risky things, risky places and companies that would now be getting part of your 401k money. You're not giving it to them. It's just going to be automatic. If you don't do anything, if you don't say anything. And 99.9% of Americans would not say anything because they don't know. And that is why we're here to help you, to give you this information so you can protect yourself, so you can protect your family. That is why I built this platform, to give you free information, educational platform to help you to protect you and your family. Okay? So pay attention, take notes, write things down. Okay? Now, let's look at commodities. You know what they are. You hear this all the time. Commodities, prices, why not price? Yes, commodities. Commodities are anything that is from the ground. Okay? How me just talk about anything that is from God, living ground on this planet is commodities. Anything. That means gold, oil. Okay? You know these things. Copper, iron ore. Okay? All of these things are commodities. Now, here's the thing with commodities. The prices can swing like the wind. Any day, any time. It could be because of war. It could be because of the weather. It could be because of politics. We don't know. In 2008, oil prices was at one point $147 a barrel. This is in 2008. Okay? Within a few months, there was a crash in the oil market from 147 a barrel. It went down, get this, to $32 within a few months. Now, imagine if your 401k money is invested in such a bank. It's insane. It's suicidal. It's a crime. It should never be done. Never should be done. It's wrong. It's un-American. President Trump did that to you. Keep that in mind. Airlines, because of the spike in oil prices, some went out of business. Truck drivers went out of business. They couldn't put oil in their trucks. Too expensive. They had to go out of business. The expense was too much. Okay? Truckers filed for bankruptcy. Workers were laid off. We talk in 2008. Okay? In agriculture, you get the same thing. You get the grain futures. Okay? That can devastate farmers when prices collapse. In one case, which is a true story here, 2 teenage workers were killed in grain bin accident because cost cutting led to unsafe conditions. These things happen. And my friends, these are the risky assets your 401k money, alternative assets, would be going into because of what President Trump did with his executive order. I want you to remember that. Cryptocurrency. You hear this all the time. Cryptocurrency. What is it? Cryptocurrency is digital money. Bitcoin, meme coins. They have all these crazy names, okay? Is backed by nothing. Let me repeat that. It is backed by nothing. It doesn't produce income. It is pure speculation. It's just 100% greed. In 2022, this is a real life story. Crypto lost over 1 trillion in value. In 2022, 1 trillion in value. Imagine if your 401k was invested in crypto in 2022, you would have lost all your money. All of your money. And you won't be able to sue them. Because President Trump, what he did in the executive order, he protected them from lawsuits. He took away that power from you. Keep that in mind. And today, Trump, he owns cryptocurrency. Okay? His company, World Liberty Financial, holds over 99 million in crypto assets. He made millions this year in 2025. While your retirement gets exposed to such risky investments, without your consent. You didn't ask for this. You would not do this on your own. You would not take a gun and shoot yourself. But they're shooting you because they can. And Trump made it possible for them to do so because he benefits. He and his friends, his Wall Street friends, the guys who funded his campaign, they all benefit. And you get screwed without your consent. Keep that in mind. Trump, he hosts, if you want to say he's still doing it, I don't think it was a one-time thing. He hosts a private dinner at Trump National Golf Club. Get this, for top holders in his Trump crypto coins. Okay? The price for admission, get this, 55,000 all the way up to 38 million in coin purchases. The average attendee spent 1.78 million just to qualify. Not making this up. You can't make this stuff up. Some spend over 10 million. In total, the attendees pull 394 million into President Trump's personal cryptocurrency. You can't make this stuff up. My friends, that's not a fundraiser. That's a wealth transfer. Now, imagine your 401k starts to buy Trump's coin, crypto, in your default fund. Every time that fund rebalances, every time it trades, President Trump's portfolio grows. Imagine that. I'd be dead. It grows. Okay? It grows. His family builds generational wealth. Why yours is exposed to scam and collapse? Keep that in mind. Remember that. That's what President Trump did to you and your family. Now, derivatives. Let's talk derivatives. Let's get into it. What is it? You hear this all the time. Derivatives are financial bets on the future of prices. What would the price be on something in the future? What would the price be on mortgages in the future? What would the price be on oil prices in the future? They're complex, hidden, and dangerous. Derivatives are not for poor people. Okay? You can lose everything you have in 20 seconds. Everything you work for your entire life can be wiped out in 20 seconds if you trade derivatives. And it goes wrong. Excuse me. It's not for you. It's for the super rich. It's not for you. Your 401k money should not be in things like this. It's wrong. It's un-American. It's un-American. And it's not right. But President Trump did this to you. Now, let's look at in 2008, what happened? What happened in 2008 with derivatives? It crashed the housing market. Banks bundle up bad mortgages, put them together into shining packages and sold them as safe. And when the shit hit the fan, everything collapsed. Millions lost their homes. Millions lost their jobs. You probably know people who lost their homes in 2008, and you probably know people who lost their homes and jobs in 2008. I do, if you're old enough to have been around. Derivatives did that. The government had to come in and bail out Wall Street with $700 billion in taxpayer money. My money, your money. And not one Wall Street bankers or Wall Street investors went to jail till this day. And what is happening again? The same fucked up government, the same fucked up Congress, the same fucked up White House, the same clowns in suits on Capitol Hill, Republicans and Democrats, they doing it again. They're giving Wall Street your money. They're giving Wall Street to fuck with your future again. History repeats itself. Sometimes it does. The question is, will this country have the trillions of dollars to bail out our 401k when they fucked it up? We already have 37 trillion in debt. Will the government have the money when they fucked up our 401k, your 401k? Thank God not me, because I don't have anything with them. But you do, the working Americans. With 37 trillion in debt today, will the government have money left to bail out your 401k when Wall Street fucked it up? Because they will. They have the key now. They're in. You can't get them out. You can't even sue them because Trump took that away from you. Okay? Keep that in mind. So what that means, today, how 8.9 trillion, listen to this, how 8.9 trillion will benefit Trump, says cryptocurrency and Wall Street. As of 2025, American workers have over 8.9 trillion invested in 401k plans. That's retirement savings from teachers, nurses, police officers, firefighters, sanitation workers, plumbers, electricians, grocery clerks, warehouse teams, construction workers, excuse me, professors, educators, the everyday Joe, people who show up, do the job, and trust, excuse me, that the future is being protected. And now, thanks to President Trump's executive order, that 8.9 trillion is being opened up to risky, high fee assets that benefit Wall Street and Trump himself and his family. Wall Street firms like BlackRock, Blackstone, Apollo, KKR, Brooksfield Asset Management are already positioning themselves to profit from this shift. They're calling your 401k, get this, the next frontier. That's what they're calling your 401k. The next frontier. They just discover America. They just discover a gold mine. Oh my God, they're coming after you. Yeah, they just discover something brand new. 8.9 trillion. The new frontier. They can do whatever they want with your money. You can't even sue them. They can fuck it up. You can't even sue them. President Trump took that power away from you. Keep that in mind. And he claims he cares about you, the working people of this country. Keep that in mind. Okay? Now, those are the guys who would profit. How are they going to do this? They are lining up, charge 2 to 3% fees. Why giving you less transparency, less liquidity, and more risk? They win and you lose, my friend. They win and you lose. Thanks to President Trump. Now, excuse me, how Trump is doing this on the backs of the working class. How does he sleep at night? Ask yourself that question. How can President Trump sleep at night when he's screwing over working class Americans? He is doing all of this on the backs of working class Americans. Ask yourself that question. How does President Trump sleep at night? Now, Trump says he cares about working class Americans. He says he's fighting for the forgotten men and women of this country. He says he puts America first. But this executive action proves otherwise. It just does. You can see it. It's written here. It's all over. These are facts. I'm not making this stuff up. I'm not political. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm just a guy, Aston Collins, who's here to educate you, to give you just the right information so you can protect yourself and your family. So when they pass laws, I come here and I explain to you how this law is going to help you or how this law is going to affect you. And this goddamn 401k executive order is going to fuck you up. You and your family retirement. And I'm also here to tell you what you can do to protect yourself. We'll get to that part, but let's continue. Trump, through this executive order, is building generational wealth for his family, for himself and his family, on your back. Keep that in mind. He's building generational wealth for himself and his family on your back. Because over 90 million Americans participate in employer-sponsored retirement plans. Most of them have financial advisors. They don't know how to read the 401k statement. So, what do? They trust their employer to make safe choices on their behalf. That's what they do. And that's why we're here. Because we know the majority of Americans don't know these things. And Trump doesn't want you to know these things. Wall Street doesn't want you to know these things. They want to keep you stupid so they can keep screwing you over and over and over. They can keep changing the rules because they think you're dumb. And that is why we're here. That is why I'm here. So pay attention. Use this platform to educate yourself, protect your family. Okay? Now, let's proceed here. Trump's order allows, employers to automatically include cryptocurrency, private equity, hedge funds, and other risky assets in your 401k plan. Keep that in mind. If you don't opt out, and most 99% of Americans don't opt out, and most people don't, 99% of them don't, you're in. It's automatic. So when you get hired and that 401k thing is there, and you pretend like you don't see it, or you just, let them take care of it. Well, they won't take care of it. They will put your money in those risky assets if you don't opt out. 99% of Americans don't, because they don't know. The thing is no big deal. Okay, keep that in mind. That's why we're here. That's why you need to pay attention, take notes, educate yourself, protect your family. Okay? Now, let's move on here. You are exposed to assets that can lose 50% in a month. You're paying fees that quietly drain your savings. You are helping, in other words, inflate the value of Trump's personal holdings in his crypto and alternative investments. That's what you're doing. That's what your 401k money is doing. Keep that in mind. This is not just bad policy, my friends. It is a betrayal. It is a betrayal to you. It is a betrayal to Americans. It is a betrayal to this country. That makes it un-American. Now, let's talk history. How Congress and corporation rewrote retirement. How Congress and corporation rewrote retirement. Now, keep in mind, before the 401k, most Americans had something called defined benefit pensions. Your grandparents had this. Anyone who had a job in the 1940s, 1950s, 1960s, all the way up to in the 80s, in the 70s, had defined benefit pensions. Those were contracts, safeguarded contracts. You worked 30 years, and the company guaranteed you a monthly check for life. It didn't matter if the stock market crashed. It didn't matter if inflation spiked. You had security. But corporations, as always, did not like the cost. They just didn't like the cost. And Congress didn't like the tax defer limits. You have two crooks working together hand in hand. So, you know what they did? They rewrote the rules. That's what they did. They rewrote the rules to fuck you over. That's what they did. Congress and big business. So, in 1978, Congress passed the Revenue Act. They come up with all these fancy names, a Revenue Act. Oh, my friend, Revenue Act, that sounds very good. It's not good. Which included a little known provision section called 401k. Now, it was meant to let high earners defer part of the salaries into tax advantage accounts. It wasn't designed for working class Americans. So in other words, the 401k was never designed for working class Americans, for everyone. The 401k was designed for the fat cats, executives. Okay? That's who it was designed for. Okay? A little gift from Congress to the people who give them money to run their campaigns. It's a payback, in other words, for Congress. From Congress to the wealthy of this country. Then, get this, came the Reagan administration. When you put a lot of Wall Street guys in a room, they come up with ideas. Lots of ideas. The only thing is, the ideas they come up with is to fuck you up. So, when the Reagan administration came in, they brought all these smart people from Wall Street, and they look at the 401k and say, oh my God, we have this gold mine. All we need to do, we just need to reinterpret the law. That's what we need to do. We're just going to reinterpret the law. So in the early 80s, the Reagan administration allowed employers to offer 401k to all workers. You know what that means, right? I hope you do. So now, something that was for the super rich executives is now being offered to working class Americans. And you got to think, oh, that must be a good thing. No, it's not. Let me explain. Okay? What that did, that opened the floodgates for Wall Street. Corporations saw the light. Corporation saw a way out of the pension obligations that they had the workers. This was the way out of it. Instead of guaranteeing pension or retirement income, they could now offer a 401k or do-it-yourself plan where the worker takes all the risk. Yes, once again, Congress fucked you over. They're still doing it today. We're talking in the 80s. Now, Congress did not make this temporary. They helped. They made the switch from traditional pension, defined pensions, to 401k permanent. That's what Congress did. They fucked you over. Republicans and Democrats. Now, in 1986, the Tax Reform Act. Now, get this. They never fucking reformed tax in this country. It's a bunch of bullshit. But that's what they called it. The Tax Reform Act. The tax code today is still fucked up. The tax code was the worst. It gets worse every year. And yet, in 1986, they came up with this foolish thing, Tax Reform Act. Okay? It's a joke. Place a limit on traditional pensions. Why did they do that? To place limit on traditional pensions. Because they wanted to make the 401k more popular, more attractive, to fool you, to fool the public. In other words, Congress just lies to you, like they always do, even today. In 2006, they came up with another fucked up name, the Pension Protection Act. God, how do these people sleep at night? How do they sleep at night? They have done nothing in this country to protect pension in this country. And yet they come up with a fucked up plan, and they name the plan the Pension Protection Act. As though they protected your pension. They just fucking killed your pension. They got rid of your pension, and they came up with a plan to say, and give it a name called the Pension Protection Act. But go figure this out. That's Congress for you. The clowns in suits on Capitol Hill. Corrupt assholes, if you ask me. Anyway, what they did? They allowed automatic enrollment in 401k. Whether you want it to or not. Your money will go in 401k if you get a job in this country and they offer one. They made it easy, making it easier for employer to defer workers in risky plans. Because they know only 1% of Americans will opt out. And they give it a fancy name. The Pension Protection Act. They got rid of your pension, there's nothing to protect. And they come up with this stupid thing anyway. So in 2019, they passed another foolish bill, the Secure Act. Okay? How they come up with these names, only God knows. What that act did, it expanded asset to 401k, but it did nothing to restore pensions or protect workers from market swings. Nothing. Okay? Nothing. And yet they call that the Secure Act. My ass. Now, meanwhile, now this is the interesting thing. Okay? Even the clowns in suits, they have a way of protecting themselves on Capitol Hill. Meanwhile, members of Congress, this is what they did, my friends. They kept their own pensions. Members of Congress kept their traditional pension, their defined pensions. They kept that. They didn't replace it with the 401k like they did ours, the workers. They kept theirs. You can't make this stuff up. That's right. Congress, till this day, still has a defined benefit pension plan that we, the taxpayer, pay for. Go figure this out. That's fucked up. That is unfair. Our congressmen were stupid. So they treat us like we're stupid. They didn't switch to 401k. They didn't take on market risk. They kept their guaranteed income in retirement. They put us on a survivor income in retirement because 401k is not guaranteed. Their guaranteed income, the benefit pension plan, defined benefit pension plan that we pay for, is guaranteed for life. They didn't get rid of that for themselves. Ask your Congress people that question the next time you're at a town hall. See what they tell you. That would be a very good question. Now, so let's be clear. Why did Congress do these things? That hurts Americans. Why? Congress took campaign money from big businesses. Big business wanted out of pension obligations. Congress rewrote the rules to help them. Workers got 401k. Workers got 401ks. Congress kept their pensions. That's how they did it. They rewrote the rules. They fucked you over, you and your family. Now, let's go back a little further here and look at who used to have pension and percentage-wise. Okay? In 1983, 62% of workers had a pension. In 1983. By 2016, that number had dropped to 17%. Okay? 17%. Meanwhile, 401k participation jumped to 73%. We're talking 2016 here. And what did workers get in return? According to the Federal Reserve, 2016 survey of consumer finances, the typical household approaching retirement had $135,000 in combined 401k IRA assets. Now, what that means? That means that's enough to generate about $600 a month in retirement income. My friends, you and I know you cannot survive on $600 a month. We know that. That is not security. It's not security. That's survival. Let's be clear. Pensions offer lifetime income. That's the difference. Survivor and lifetime income. That's the difference. And Congress took away your pension and gave you 401k. Not security. Keep that in mind. And what happened is, your 401k now is a balance. And when that balance runs out, so does your retirement. It's not a guaranteed pension. When it runs out, your retirement's gone. You have to go back to work. If you're that old, if you're too old, you can't work. What do? You become homeless. You become the forgotten American. Congress did this to you. Keep that in mind. Congress didn't just allow this shift, my friend. It's the sad thing about it. They engineer it. Congress engineered the shift from start to finish. Keep that in mind. The next time a goddamn corrupt clowns in suits, politicians try to talk bullshit in your face, let them know that they're a bunch of scumbags. The lowest of the low. They would do anything for money. They have no dignity. No dignity. They are the worst of the worst kind of American. They will sell you down the river, you and your family, in a heartbeat for money. Those are the people who fucked up your pension and replaced it with a 401k. Keep that in mind. So, when you hear politicians saying all these things, wonder, they engineer this. They passed laws that made pension harder to fund and made 401k easier to sell. 401ks easier to sell. They let Wall Street take over your retirement. And they did it. Why? Protecting their own benefits. So again, when you hear politicians say they are fighting for working people, ask them, why did you keep your pension? Why we lost ours? Why did you take money from corporations, that wanted to cut retirement costs? Why did you let Wall Street manage our future? This isn't just history, my friends. It's a blueprint. And unless we challenge it, the same forces will keep rewriting the rules on our backs. That is why we must act. That is why we must take action. Now, what you can do, this is your money, your future, your fight. And you don't need a finance degree to protect it. You just need to know where to look, what to ask, and how to act. Step 1. Know who manages your plan. Ask your HR department who your plan administrator is. It will be a firm, a Wall Street firm. Okay? They will have names. I cannot give you names because they don't pay me to do these things. Okay? But ask those questions. Check your pay stubs to see what it says on it. Or online. Look at your yearly statement or summary plan description, SPD. Step 2, request your plan documents. You have legal rights. Let me repeat that. You have legal rights to see what's inside your 401k. That includes the summary plan description, SPD, the investment lineup, the funds in the plan, the fee disclosure statement. All of the fees that is charged in your fund will have a disclosure statement so you can see how much they're charging you in fees. Okay? Ask for that. Ask HR or your plan administrator this question. I would like a copy of our 401k plan documents, including the SPD and feed disclosures. If they hesitate, remind them under federal law, they must provide this information to you within 30 days. It's your right. They have to. Keep that in mind. Take notes. Remember that. Step 3. Now, this is very important. You want to pay attention. You want to write this down. Take notes. Okay? Step 3. The red flags. Look for red flags in your fund. And this is what they are. High fees. High fees. Fees are the silent killer of retirement savings. They don't show up as a line item. They are baked inside your fund's performance, quietly, eating away your returns year after year, and you don't even know it, without you knowing it. Okay? Let me give you an example. Let's say you invested $100,000 in a fund that earns 7% annually, yearly. If that fund charges 1.5% fee, 1.5% fee, you will lose over $200,000 in fees over 30 years. That's a lot of money. You will lose over $200,000 over 30 years from a 1.5% fee. It adds up. Compounding will kill you when it comes to fees in your account. That $200,000, you could have done a lot of things with that. But that money could have gone to your future. It could have helped pay for your kids' college, help for the down payment on their first home, help your grandkids pay for college. But that over 200,000 instead went to Wall Street in fees. My friends, that is why I'm here, Aston Collins. I'm here to help you. I'm here to give you information like this so you know these things, so you don't get screwed, you don't get fucked over by Wall Street and the corrupt clowns in suits on Capitol Hill. Because they wake up in the morning, they have one interest, is to fuck you over. That's what they do on Capitol Hill, to fuck you over. Every day they wake up, they have one goal. It's not to help you. And that's why I'm here, to tell you these things so you know, so you can protect yourself, you and your family. Take notes, pay attention. Keep this in mind, okay? That's how much you would pay in fees. It's not right, it's not fair, it's un-American. Now, example of high fee traps. Actively managed mutual funds tend to charge 1 to 2% fees yearly, plus transaction costs as well. Private equity funds, they on the other hand, they can go to from 2 to 20 structure, 2% management fees, plus any profit they make you 20%. Crypto funds, trading platform fees, target date funds that appear simple but includes expensive investments. Even a difference of 0.5% in fees can cost you tens of thousands over time. Keep that in mind. Always check the expense ratio. It is listed in your funds, documents, online. Now, target date funds. What are they? Target date funds are mark it as set it and forget it. They automatically, adjust your investment based on your expected retirement year. Sounds convenient, right? But not convenience can come at a cost. Here's the problem. You don't know what's inside, okay, or target date fund. You may be exposed to risky asset like private equity or crypto or without knowing it. Fees are often layers. It's like a cake. You put one layer, you put another layer, you put another layer. You never know what's inside, in the middle. Okay? One of the funds itself can be a lot of things, investment-wise. Example, 2035 target date fund might include 40% U.S. stocks, 20% international stocks, mainly stocks of other countries, companies, 30% bonds, 10% alternative investments, like crypto, hedge funds, private credit, etc. Now, you didn't choose these alternative investments. You didn't approve the fees. You didn't. But you were paying for them and taking the risk. Keep that in mind. Some target date funds also rebalance aggressively. Why do they do that? When you rebalance a fund, you shake things up because you want to make money. Somebody have to pay for that cost. So Wall Street will do that just to fuck you over. So they rebalance the fund. They do it aggressively. Now, they also trigger unnecessary taxes for you when they do these things. Okay? And also transaction costs, so they make more money in a taxable account. Now, let's look at limited liquidity. What is limited liquidity? Limited liquidity is, it means how easy you can access your money in retirement. The more liquidity in your fund, the faster you can get out if you want to sell something. If the fund is liquid, if it's limited liquidity, there's no freedom. So liquidity is freedom in retirement. Keep that in mind. But here's the thing you need to watch out for. Many alternative assets are illiquid. What that means? It means is you cannot sell them quickly or at all. This is crazy, right? And if you do, you have to pay penalties. Let me give you an example. Private equity funds often locked up, right? They locked up your money for 7 to 10 years. That means you cannot sell anything for 7 to 10 years. Imagine. You're in your retirement and you cannot sell anything in your retirement account for 7 to 10 years in certain asset in the funds. That is crazy. That is un-American, right? But that's what some of these things can do. Real estate investment trust REITs, they may restrict your withdrawal to quarterly windows, meaning you can only take money from this particular asset every 3 months. Okay, you have to wait every 3 months, right? Hedge funds can impose gates. Okay, gates. What are gates? Gates that limit redemptions during market stress. So when the market is doing bad for a few months, a few years, the hedge fund will tell you, you can't sell this. We got to hold on to the money for 8 months, 2 years. You can't get your money out. Okay? Crypto platforms may freeze your withdrawal during market swings or bankruptcy. So if a hedge fund or crypto is going bankrupt, they can tell you, Lisa and Mr. Jones, you can't take your crypto. You can't sell your crypto now. They keep holding your money until they go bankrupt. You lost everything. Okay? Imagine needing your money for a medical emergency in your retirement years. What do you do? What do you do? But your retirement account is tied up in a fund that won't let you cash out until next year. Imagine that. You have no control. You have no power. You have the mercy. What do you do? What do you do? Your child might need surgery. You need this money. The money is there to pay for the surgery. You can't get to the money. You have to wait a whole year. What do you do? What do you do? That is what President Trump did to you, my friend. You and your family, remember that. Okay? That, my friend, is not retirement security. That's a trap. You're trapped. You are in the 401k trapped. That's what that is. Step 4. Talk to your co-workers. You are not alone. Start the conversation. Ask for a group meeting with the plan administrator. Ask your HR for a group meeting with the plan administrator. Step 5. Consider a Roth IRA. Understand what it is, why it matters, and how it protects your future. A Roth IRA is a retirement account you own and control. It's not tied to your employer. It's not managed by a corporate plan administrator. It's yours, 100% yours. You contribute money that's already been taxed. And in retirement, you withdraw it tax-free. That means no surprise tax bills when you need the money the most. No required minimum distribution at age 73. No penalties for withdrawing contributions early, not just not the earnings. It's simple. It's transparent and it's powerful. Let's break it down. Okay? Let's break this down. What is it? Let me give you an example. Okay? Say you contributed $6,000 a year to a Roth starting at age 30. You invest in a low index fund, earning 7% annually. By age 65, you will have over $600,000. And every dollar you withdraw is tax-free. Compare that to a traditional 401k. Okay? You contribute pre-tax in a traditional 401k. Take notes, remember this. But every withdrawal in retirement is taxed as income. So what that means, if tax rates goes up in that year when you retire, your retirement shrinks because you're paying higher taxes. The tax rate went up. Okay? Now, with a Roth IRA, you locked in today's tax rate. Okay? And protect yourself from future uncertainty. That's what a Roth IRA does for you and your family. And you can pass this on tax-free to your loved ones. That's what. It's a beautiful thing. Now, let me give you a real life example of how this can be done and how some people are using it today. There is a nurse in Ohio. Okay? Her name is Tina. Tina Roth IRA covers medical expenses in retirement without triggering taxes. A teacher named Laura in Virginia funds to help her daughter with college. Penalty free. A warehouse worker in Florida, John, retired early and legs off Roth IRA savings. Why? Delaying, get this, delaying Social Security. So he's living off his Roth IRA savings. Why? He delayed Social Security because it's tax-free. Okay? It's a beautiful thing. And that's something you can do. You can open this tomorrow. You can open this today. Depending on your age, you can put $6,000 or $7,500. Okay? Those are real people using real tools. So can you. Not Wall Street gimmicks. Now, this is important. What to watch out for. Okay? Income limits. If you earn over $153,228, you married, you may need, this is funny, you may need a workaround like a backdoor Roth IRA. Okay? Now, there's no such thing as a backdoor IRA, but anyway. But this is what you can do. In 2025, you can contribute up to $6,500 yearly or $7,500, like I said, if you are 50 plus. Okay? Now, you get investment choices. You choose what goes inside. It could be stocks, it could be bonds, it could be ETFs, it could even be CDs. This is about control. This is about freedom. This is about building a retirement that works for you, not for Wall Street. That's what a Roth IRA does. It's a beautiful thing. If you don't have one and you have the means, I would recommend you start one. Contribute every week. Put in whatever you can. Depending on your age, you can put up to $6,000. Tax-free. If you 50 plus, $7,500. Open it today. You will love it. I guarantee you. Okay, so step 6. Demand transparency. Transparency and accountability. You want to demand that. Ask your employer. Ask your union if you have one. Okay? Ask your elected officials, not the corrupt ones. God forbid. Maybe you still have some that's not corrupt. I don't know. But ask. Step 7. Now, step 7, take control. Okay? Take control. Now, I want to speak to you directly now. Not as a businessman, but as someone who cares about you, your family, your future. I didn't start this platform to sell you anything. I started it because I saw what was happening in this country. I saw what was happening in this country that was wrong. That is wrong. That is unfair. That is unjust. That is un-American. I saw working people being misled, overcharged, and quietly robbed of the retirement they have earned. I saw families who give everything, years of labor, sacrifices, and loyalty, only to be handed a 401k full of risk, fees, and confusion. And I couldn't just stand by and do nothing. I couldn't. I had to do something. And I woke up in the dead of night and I decided I have to speak. I have to speak out. I can't have all this information and don't share it. What good would that be if I don't share this information? And that is why I started this platform. You deserve better. You deserve clarity. You deserve control. You deserve to retire with dignity, just like the rich. You earn it. You should not retire with anxiety. This platform exists to educate, to empower you, to protect, not to pitch products, not to pitch investments, not to profit off your trust. Because I know what's it like to worry about your parents, your spouse, your kids. I know what it's like to wonder if I have enough. And I know what it feels like to be told, don't worry, it's all taken care of. Only to find out later that it wasn't. So, my friends, I'm asking you, take control. Ask questions. Demand answers. Share what you learned. Protect what you have. Protect what you have built. You have worked too hard to be left in the dark. You have sacrificed too much to be treated like a number. And you matter. Too much to be ignored. This is your life. This is your future. Take control. This isn't just about retirement. It's about respect. It's about justice. It's about making sure your future belongs to you, not Wall Street, not Washington, D.C., and not anyone who sees your savings as their opportunity, like Trump does. From my heart to yours, I am with you. I'm on your side. I believe in you. And I built this for you. the American working men and women, the forgotten Americans, the people who built this country. I built this platform for you. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and leave a comment below. Tell me what you think. What have you seen? What are you fighting for? This platform is for you. And it grows because of you. It grows because of you. Let's keep building. My friends, let's keep learning. Let's keep protecting each other. I'm Aston Collins. I will see you in the next one.